Hi everyone, welcome back to the Coding and Analysis YouTube channel. And before I get into the XGBoost Jupyter notebook, I wanted to just go over Jonathan Allen. I was talking about him in the previous video. I wanted to look at all of his PPR stats. So 2023, he had 156 PPR points. He only played 10 games. I think at that point he was hurt or he was holding out for a bigger contract, something like that, and that's why I only played 10 games. So he had 169 carries, and then in 2024 he had 244 points, significantly better, and he had 303 carries, but he only played 14 games. And then our CBS model projects him as 221. And I brought in the ESPN Projected Fantasy Points, and they have him much higher at 296.2. And our cross-validation was 220, and the full training was 227, closer to the CBS model. So, it kind of all just depends if he can get up to 17 games, because he'll probably get a high carry of rush attempts, lots of carries. So it just depends if he can be healthy. I mean, this kind of seems a little high, maybe 270, 260 range. But you never know if he could play 16, 17 games, he could probably get to close to 290 probably. So just keep that in mind. So this is probably on the low side. The 244 was him last year being the primary running back, and then I guess ESPN is this is their model, thinking that he'll play 16, 17 games, so he'll have the 290, 296. So if you subtract, a couple, 40 points for 2 games, you'd probably get, 256 or something like that. So it just depends if he'll play 16 or 17 games. So we'll go into the Jupyter Notebook Fantasy Football 4, and we're doing a pip install XGBoost to bring in the XGBoost library into our Anaconda system. And then we're importing pandas as PD, importing numpy as NP, importing matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, and then from the sklearn library, we're bringing the submodule model underscore selection, and then these are the functions that we're bringing in from the submodule and classes. I think so. Train, test, split, cross, val, predict are our functions, and then kfold is a class that we're bringing in from the submodule. Then sklearn.metrics. So the .metrics is the submodule. We're importing the mean absolute error, or MAE, and the R-square score. And these are the functions from this submodule .metrics. And then we're bringing in the XGBoost and importing XGB regressor. So just think of this as the random forest regressor that we used in the previous videos. And it's going to be called XGB regressor. And then import Seaborn as SNS and import NumPy as NP. And then we're doing our pd.read method, bringing in another spreadsheet, another CSV file, projections 2. And what this is going to include the ESPN projected PPR stats for the NFL players. So for these model runs, we're going to use that instead of the CBS model predictions, just to see what what results we get, any different results that we get. So the combined stats is going to be the name of the data frame that we're using, our original data frame before any copies are made or anything like that. So at combined underscore stats.head, we're getting the first 5 results, and then the .info, we're getting all the integers and objects. In this spreadsheet, you can see here things we're using like projected roll. So projected roll is 1 if you're a starter, 0 if you're a backup. And then the CBS 2025 PPR stats and the ESPN 2025 PPR stats. And then this is the additional analysis going to use on the spreadsheet that I get from our model results. When I do a combined stats.group by method, we're filtering on fantasy position using the ESPN 2025 PPR stats. So we get 39 quarterbacks, 88 running backs, 156 wide receivers and tight ends. So the mean we're getting is really 140 for the running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. So that's the mean 140, and the mean for the quarterbacks 234. And just keep in mind some of the backups are being, since it's 39, there's a few backups in here. So if you look at this, the 50% tile is 271 compared to the mean, which is 234, which is factoring in some of the backups. And then the you can see the max 336 right here. So the CBS models, they were having like 450, 425 for the quarterbacks. So the highest max that we get for a quarterback is 366, which I think Lamar Jackson, he had 400 points last year in PPR stats. So 366, which that's probably Lamar Jackson's estimate. And then running backs 336. Wide receivers and tight ends 353. Then numeric, convert columns to numeric. So these are objects we need to convert them to numeric. So this is a Python dictionary, and we're doing a for loop to go through this dictionary and to do a pandas or PD dot dot method to underscore numeric. So we're changing these columns to the to numerics, the numbers, so they'll be floats instead of or integers or floats instead of objects. And then that will be it for this video. In the next video, I'll start to go over the XGBoost XGB regressor model, and I'll run that. We'll get the results for that. So I'll do that next video. Thanks for watching. See y'all in the next video. Bye.